Hello, everyone. This is Mark Anthony on Edge on Regenerative Medicine Show, the place where we bring you the best of the best doctors in their niche and area. I have a special guest, not just a guest, but I call a friend. I've known him for years, Dr. Jason Strotheide. He is you can find him at chirothin.com and also shopchirothin.com. What's really unique about Dr. Jason is that he focuses on finding the root. Taking you from unhealthy to healthy. There's a lot of doctors that are just out there. Hey, you know what? Crack your back. You're good to go. Send you off. Not this doctor. I love. He has a company called Chirothin. Amazing. Now, there's a lot of doctors that are watching this that are friends of mine. If you are looking at taking your business to the next level, you want to take a look at Chirothin. I know so many doctors that are utilizing this and that are winning. I look at it like this, my friends out there. You've got a big piece of a puzzle. You go and you notice that in your big piece of a puzzle, you're missing little pieces here and there. What Dr. Jason does is he plugs those pieces and he adds value to the company to taking it to another level. So if you're just doing chiropractic and you wanted to take your business to another level, Chirothin is something I do recommend. I know many people that utilize and have lost tons of weight. So with that being said, I know it's a long intro, but hey, for an awesome person, I wanted to. Dr. Jason Strotheide, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Mark. It's my pleasure. Appreciate it. We've been trying to coordinate this for like a year now, and life just keeps, bumping up and taking priority. But man, we finally got it.
No, definitely. And so my viewers out there, whether you're doctors or you're about to become a chiropractor, this is something that I believe is a turnkey solution for your business, period. And I want you guys to pay attention. Don't just click off. Don't just forward it. Please pay attention. This is called turnkey solutions for chiropractors from good to great. So if you wouldn't mind, Dr. Jason, explaining, what does that really mean from good to great?
Yeah. So Mark, a little background, right? So I have a little bit of a unique perspective, at least in my opinion, right? In that I'm actually a chiropractor, second generation. I think I was the fifth or sixth in my family. We've got like 8 or 9 now. And we met back when I was in practice in St. Louis, right? So I practiced, I graduated from Logan in 93, April 17th of 1993, day that will live in infamy, up until 2016, sold my practices. All of them were on the St. Louis area. Sold them on February 8th, 2016. So we just recently passed the 7-year mark. And really, I have this unique perspective. So, as the chiropractor, right, it would always be go to the seminars and hang out, go to the practice management stuff, hang out with my buddies. We all talk, meet people, kibitz with each other, complain to each other. What's working for you, what's not. So all of that perspective. I also had the cool perspective of basically knowing what I liked about companies that I dealt with as a chiropractor, and then knowing the things that I hated about dealing with companies as a chiropractor. So fast forward, the etiology of this company is really, Mark, it's a God-led, and I hope it's okay that I share this story. Please. Because I at the end of the day, when we started this company, myself and my partner made a promise, and that was whenever we get the opportunity to share our story,
I love it. Please do.
We tell this aspect of it. And that was something that to this day I've never violated, and I never will. So I used to do a lot of traveling and speaking, pretty noted authority, continuing medical education instructor. And I was traveling a lot, man. And I was in practice Monday through Thursday, on the road Friday, back Sunday, with the wife and kids. Wasn't really great. You know what I mean? And it got to be too much. And there comes a time in everybody's life, Mark, where you draw the line in the sand, and whether it's you drawing it for yourself or somebody that's important draws it for you. And then it's decision time, buddy.
I got it.
It's decision time. And I made the decision to basically stop traveling and speaking. And I was in the practice Monday through Thursday. I was on a plane Friday, back Sunday, back in the office on Monday. When I looked back at the calendar, I had done that previous calendar year. I had been on the road 30 out of 52 weekends that year. Yeah, like I said, with the wife and 2 little kids. And really what had happened, Mark, is it had gone from, man, you know, my kid's giving me a hug on Friday morning and, oh, we'll see you on Sunday. And now they were starting to cry on Wednesday night because daddy was leaving again. Like my suitcase never was unpacked. And I missed it, man. Like I was missing something. And at the end of the day, after about a year, I thought it was maybe like, oh, it's, you know, hey, I missed the big show. I miss being picked up at the airport. I miss having a theme song, you know, like all that stuff. And because that type of stuff feeds the ego. And I never really considered myself egotistical, but I thought maybe that's what I was missing. But after a year, it didn't go away. So what that tells me is there had to be something else. So really what I realized, Mark, is even when I was just only in practice, not traveling and speaking, anytime I would talk, if I could give a patient or a buddy of mine an idea that they might be able to take and implement, I'm going to help that patient, I'm helping my buddy, and therefore I'm playing a role in helping his patients as well. And it allowed me mentally to feel like I was really playing on a much bigger field and positively impacting people's health and wellness, right? On a much larger scale than I could within my walls. That's when I realized that's what I was missing. It wasn't the ego stuff, right? So I then turned and I started praying and meditating every day. And some days, Mark, you know, some days, brother, maybe it was 30 seconds.
I know that feeling.
And some days it was 30 minutes, right? And what I was praying and meditating on, Mark, was that God would give me a way,
love it, man,
to really get back to fulfilling what I felt my calling was, playing on a larger scale, a global scale for improving people's health and wellness than I could within the own walls of my office. But I had a caveat. And that caveat was I couldn't travel, so that I could do it without sacrificing my family, without being away from my family, without having to be on the road. Prayed and meditated. The entire idea for this company and its first product, Chirothin, after about two and a half years, I was on my way home from my office in Granite City, Illinois, to my house in Chesterfield, Missouri. It's about a 45-minute drive. I can tell you exactly where I was on Interstate 270. And if anybody's watching this in St. Louis, the entire idea for this company, start to finish, was downloaded on me in less than a second and a half as I was getting ready to go underneath the Page Avenue extension on Interstate 270.
Wow.
Entire thing downloaded on me. I hit the door that night. My wife says, "Oh my gosh, how was your day?" And I'm like, the coolest freaking thing happened. So I tell her the story. She looks at me and she says, first thing she asked me, "Mark, are you sure it was God?" I'm like, 100%.
100, because you got the whole thing.
And she looks at me and God bless her. She looks at me and she says, "I guess we better get busy."
I love it.
And that was the etiology. And, you know, I could go on and tell this extended story, but I know that's not what we're here for. So so she says, "You're already busy. Who's going to help you?" And I'm like, "Frank." She's like, "When's the last time you talked to Frank?" I'm like, "I don't know, 5-6 years ago." She's like, "How do you know he's going to help you?" I'm like, "He was part of the plan." So I called Frank. You know, back then you didn't trade cell phones in, right? So I still had my little Motorola flip phone.
Oh yeah,
right?
That was a good phone.
And I plug it in and I find his old number. I had heard he had moved, so I didn't know it was good. I put that number in my iPhone 3 at the time, right? Wow. So that's how long ago this was. And I call him up and he answers. And I say, "This is going to be the strangest phone call but I know we haven't spoken in 6 years, but this is going to be the strangest phone call ever." So I tell him, and he says, "I got 3 questions." And I said, "What are they?" He said, "Number 1, are we always going to do the right thing no matter what the cost?" And I said, "Brother, you know me, that's how I roll." Wow. He was like, "Okay." He said, 2, are we only going to do business with people that want to do business with us? And I said, "That's an interesting question. What do you mean by that?" And he said, "No strong arming, no hard sales. Like if somebody wants to be a client, cool. And if not, that's okay. We still love them. And we'll be here for them if they ever have a change of heart." And I'm like, "Absolutely, dude. That's, you know." And he said, "Number 3, whenever we're asked about how this all started, or we're asked to tell our story, will we always give the glory to God?" And I said, "Absolutely, 100%. So I have fulfilled my obligation at that point." So now, what was your original question?
Wow, I love it. And this is good. And I want to tell you this, there's a lot of doctors out there that are right now looking for something. And I want to encourage you doctors out there. I know that a lot of you have been praying, just as Dr. Jason's talking about this. And I believe that this is a puzzle that can help your business. I know many doctors that started just with Chirothin. I'll just talk about Chirothin for a second. Chirothin, and their businesses have exploded to the point where they're just focusing on Chirothin, and they had somebody else just run the chiropractic side. I'm not saying, guys, this is going to happen for you. Everyone's different. No. But I know for a fact, 99.9% of the people that are listening to this are believers. So we can just keep it real. Yeah. If you're a doctor, you're a believer. If not, I'm shocked. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. Right. But point is, I just want to encourage you guys, stay tuned. And the question was this: how can the turnkey solutions for chiropractors from good to great? How can this help their business? There's a lot of doctors right now that are struggling financially because of what happened with the COVID thing, and then they're trying to get back on their feet. And now we don't know what's going on with their economy right now. So there's a lot of people that are being worried, and you just nowadays can't just do one thing. I hate to say it. No, you can't. And so on that note, Mark, I mean, here's the thing, right? As a chiropractor, I love chiropractic. I'm probably the only guy that owns a nutraceutical company or a nutrition company that says if you have to choose between, if your patient has to choose between adjustment or supplements, don't buy anything from me. Just give them the adjustment. I'm going to acquiesce. So everything that I do and that my company does comes from that perspective of a multi-generational chiropractor who says chiropractic first. I also, when I did a lot of my speaking, right? So here's the thing. Little known fact, also certified in insurance claims review. Got certified in insurance claims review, not to review claims for insurance companies, but I got tired of like not knowing what they were looking for when they were cutting my claims. It's just kind of how I am, right? And what I found out was I got really good at winning my appeals. I got to the point where I'm like, oh, you want to reduce my claim? I would go down to small claims court in Granite City, Illinois, Madison County, Illinois, and I would, in small claims court, file a lawsuit against the insurance reviewer and the insurance company for whatever they were reducing my bill by and court costs. And I won. And after I won about 5 of them in a row, they stopped reducing my bills because I knew what they were looking for. So then what that evolved to was doing that for some of my friends. Hey, I got this bill, and I never charged for it, right? But what made me so effective at that, Mark, was my understanding of complicating factors and poor prognostic indicators, right? And that's big fancy $50 word, but basically what it means is, as chiropractors, I feel comfortable in saying almost all of us, probably all of us, have a few basic core goals of our interaction with patients. That is one, get our patients better as fast as possible. 2, save them time, save them money in the process. 3, keep them better longer. And 4, have them be able to get back to living the life that they want and deserve. I learned that there were certain things that would interfere with that, and they're very well documented. And one was, weight-related issues, being overweight or obese, degeneration, stress, sleep issues. There's a whole host of these things. So really what we do now, and we started with Chirothin, 12 and a half years ago, that was because it's so intimately connected with chiropractic. When you look at chiropractic, we talk about the 3 T's, or we look at physical, chemical, emotional, spiritual stress, right? There's so much science out there about weight loss and adipose also having impacts on physical, chemical, and emotional stress, that while they're separate entities, they're so tied together. And so when we only had Chirothin, right, my example would be this. So if you take a patient that has a BMI of 24 and you take that same patient with a BMI of 40, which one do you think is going to get better faster? The one with a BMI of 24 or BMI of 40? Right. Still 24. Which one's going to stay better longer? Which one's going to hold their adjustments if they go into a wellness care? Which one has more physical stress being placed on? So let's take it back to the 3 T's. Which one has more physical stress? Correct. There's science out there that's irrefutable on the effects of adipose
and its relationship to increased systemic stress or systemic chemical stress, from IL-6, IL-10, tumor necrosis factor. I can geek out on all this stuff. And then we don't even have to talk about the emotional stress of somebody who's overweight, right? So it fits perfectly. So, but then what I realized, and we've done that, it also has this a market that's the market for weight loss, Mark, to be really honest with you, is 136 times larger than the market for chiropractic.
Wow.
Yeah, 136 times. So the Gallup organization.
Brilliant. Yeah,
but follow me, right? So it's also much more promoted. People are already being taught. I mean, you look at TV, I hate to say it, lose weight. They're not doing it for health reasons. It's all about vanity reasons, but they're being told, their medical doctors telling them, their friends are telling them, the TV's telling them, the newspapers telling them, Newsweek magazine's telling them, Instagram's telling them, Facebook's telling them, TikTok's telling them. All these things are saying, do this. How can we leverage in a way that supports what we do as chiropractors? How can we leverage into the billions and billions and billions of dollars that are already being spent to educate the public that they need a particular service? And how can we tie it to what we do as chiropractors so that it reinforces everything that we do as chiropractors? And that's what we developed.
I love it. It's interesting. You would think that more chiropractors would be focusing more on that end anyways, because most of the people that are coming in, it's either obesity or whatever it may be, but not realizing that it actually helps our practice. In a way, if you're a chiropractor, you need to have some type of weight loss program, because think about this. There's a lot of people that have, say, neuropathy. Neuropathy is mostly about weight loss. It's because of the stuff that we're putting inside our bodies. Yeah. So this is a great marriage.
Sure. And then as things have evolved, Mark, so, other studies, so we know the overweight and obesity ratio, 70%, let's just round it up to 70% of the population pre-COVID was overweight or obese. Weight is a poor prognostic indicator and complicating factor. And I know we're only talking about weight right now. We also know that based upon the Gallup organization, 51% of US adults want to lose weight on any given day. So let's talk about a business model that fits with what we do, that now 51% of any chiropractor's community wants to do on any given day. So not of your patients. So yes, 51% of your patients want to lose weight on any given day, but 51% of your community wants to lose weight on any given day. 29% of adults in the United States are actively doing something to try to lose weight on any given day. Wow. So 51% of the adults that walk through Dr. Jones's office today, walk through the front door, 51% of them want to lose weight. Some days it may be 47, some days it may be 60. 29% of them are trying to do something. Right now it's a little bit higher because we just crossed New Year's, but what we're getting into now is called the already given up season, right? And so it's funny because like by I think it's the second week of February, end of the second week of February, 85% of people that had weight loss as their New Year's resolution have already given up. We have this entire marketing campaign that we give our clients. It's called the Already Given Up campaign, right? So what happens is it's just from the weight loss perspective, right? In a business model, if you're a chiropractor and you're in a town of, I don't know, let's say you got 27 other chiropractors. Chances are, Mark, I don't know, what do you think? 23 of them are running ads on social media. They're all kind of doing the same thing, right?
Easy. So
if my town, 10% of people use a chiropractor.
I see where you're coming from.
Right. And that's not want to see a chiropractor. That's see a chiropractor. There's a whole different animal there. Correct. Right. And I'm competing. Let's say I have a marketing budget of $5,000 a month. Right. If I have $5,000 every month to spend, and I'm now spending that $5,000 in my town of 26,000 adults, and I'm marketing towards to the same exact people that the other, 23 of the 27 chiropractors do, versus I now have that $5,000 and I can spend all of it or part of it to market to 51% of the adults in my community, where maybe there's 2 or 3 other people going after that same subset.
Correct.
And we know that the person that is overweight likely has physical stress. They have chemical stress. They have and we know when to so they come in and we start them with weight loss, but then we have a system that we do. I mean, we put over 250,000 patients across the United States through this protocol. We know when to introduce chiropractic to them. Mm-hmm. Because we've tested it, right? We've been able to crowdsource so much data from our clients and our clients, the patient, that we know when to do things. So we have that. So then our latest initiative is really, I started surveying, like, because people were like, oh my God, look at these postural changes and their adjustments are doing better and they're coming off of their blood pressure meds and everything's better. They're getting better. So when we say taking you from great to greater, I don't even like saying good to great. It's great to greater. We want to take you as the great chiropractor and make you a greater chiropractor.
I love it.
And the way that we do it is by addressing these things, Mark, and the phrase that I like to use is the things that people walk into the chiropractic office with, but not for. Now, let me break that down. When you have a new patient comes in your office and they fill out the new patient intake form, there's always somewhere on there it says purpose of this appointment. Why are you seeing us? Whatever. Mm-hmm. Whatever that person writes there, that's what they're coming in for. Mm-hmm. The difference between going from great to greater is looking at pages 2, 3, 4, and 5 of that intake form. The sections where it's check boxes. Do you have this? Have you ever had that? Do you take medication? Do you have knee pain? Do you have back pain? Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have high cholesterol? Do you have high stress? Rate your sleep. All of these things that we have to get that data. By the way, all of those are complicating factors and poor prognostic indicators. Exactly. But the average chiropractor, they don't look at page 2 through 4 because they're there for the purpose.
Correct.
Right? But on the front end, we can all have this agreement. What do we all want to do? We all want to get them better faster, keep them better longer, save them time, save them money, while we get them back to living the life they want and deserve. But if we know these things on pages 2 through 5, make that less likely to happen. If we want to be congruent with what we're saying, we need to do something. And whether it's refer out or do something in office. And what we found was the average chiropractor said, yes, I know these make it harder for me to do those 5 agreements faster, get them better faster, keep them better longer, save time, save money, get them back. But I don't know what to do, or I don't do anything about it. Right. And it was such a large percentage of people that we spoke with that I then had to dig in a little bit deeper, Mark. And what I had to do is go, if you know this, Dr. Jones, if you know this, Dr. Mark, why aren't you doing anything about it? Or are you doing anything about it? No. There were, obviously there's 2 answers, no and yes, right? And we would get some yes and we would get some no. So on the no's, I would say, why not? I got the same answers over and over and over. And it was, I don't know what to do. I'm a chiropractor. I love moving spines. I don't know what to do. And I'm not an expert in therapeutically effective science-based clinical nutrition. I just don't know what to do. That was one answer. The other one was, I know what to do, but it's not easy. It's not easy. I want to spend my time.
I'm not a specialist in that, but I understand.
And then the next answer was, I kind of know what to do, but I'm not willing to spend the time to basically become an expert in this field.
Wow.
Or I know what to do, but it's too complex. I don't want my patients to have to take 7 or 10 bottles of supplements to be able to manage this condition.
Because most of them are.
As an adjunct, remember, this is focused around, like in my mind, chiropractic first, right? I can't put so much importance on nutrition that I water down my chiropractic message in my practice.
I love it.
So what we did was we created, and it's not been done by any other company that I'm aware of. We created what I call an easy button approach of, of science-based therapeutically effective clinical nutrition.
Mhm.
I went out and hired all the experts to create these formulations, to create the lifestyle protocols, to create the guided meditations, right? And all of these conditions, so the various protocols that we have are all designed to do what? Reinforce what we all do as chiropractors. It is not paramount. It is not primary to chiropractic ever, but it's designed to help take the chiropractor from great to greater. So basically what we've done is we've hired the experts. We keep it simple, like our stress and sleep protocol and all of our formulations, you know, we're custom formulating things. We're, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks away from launching a brand new neuropathy protocol that's been in development for 8 months. And we've had some crazy groundbreaking supplements formulated, and it's easy. So our stress and sleep, it's a couple of supplements. I hired one of the head sleep writers from sleep.org to write the ebook, the patient education ebook. We hired a top guided meditation expert to write custom guided meditation tracks to assist with stress and sleep. And when it comes in the retail box, all the patient does is they scan the QR code on the top.
Love it.
And it takes them to all of the supportive materials, all digitally delivered. So the chiropractor doesn't have to remember, you know, where did I put this flyer, or we're not handing out the photocopy of the photocopy of the photocopy of the photocopy. It's gotten
Exactly.
a little more crooked every photocopy generation, right? And it's turnkey. And we pride ourselves on creating affordable solutions, because if it's affordable for the chiropractor,
it'll be affordable for people.
It's going to be affordable for the patient. The chiropractor can still make the profit margin that they need.
Amazing.
And Mark, it's really like, as I said, I mean, it just goes back to supporting our profession, helping fill the gap.
Love it.
Creating better mousetraps, right? The people that do say, yes, I do something about it, I would say, what do you do? Tell me about it. How long does your patient, and this was a great question, right? Like, how long does your patient stay on the protocol?
Come on.
Do they stay on the protocol for 3 months?
Exactly. Do
they stay on for a month? Do they stay on for 2 weeks? Oh, they stay on for 2 weeks. Well, how long is your protocol? 2 months. Why are they only staying on 2 weeks? Do you ever survey them? No. Okay, so great. I'm going to survey them. And what do I find out? Well, Dr. Jones gave me 9 bottles that I have to take. And it was take 2 of bottle 1 and 1 of bottle 3 and take this one with food. Like, yeah, do some of our protocols have multiple supplements? Of course they do, right? Like, because you can only fit so much in a capsule without making somebody swallow something the size of my thumb.
I'd like to ask you a question. I have to jump in here. So
yeah, go.
You said about these capsules, you know, some of the pills, it's a pill form, correct?
Depends on what that supplement is. Some are tablets, some are capsules, some are liquids. It just depends on what the best delivery.
And these supplements are is there organic? Is it something where you're going to have side effects where, you know, when you buy things on TV, it tells you, hey, it's only $19.99, but hey, the side effects are, you know,
no. So Mark, we're a truth in labeling company.
What does that mean?
So that means that any manufacturing run that we do on our products, we send out for analytics to make sure what is on the label, those concentrations and those quantities are actually what's in the finished product.
Wow.
So there's a big issue in nutrition.
Okay.
The average company, the average label in a non-truth and labeling company, what is on the label is usually off in the actual supplement by somewhere between 20 and 30% and like 70% of the supplement. So number one, we're truth and labeling. Number two is you have to remember, we hire the experts in these formulations, and my goal is, if we can create a 1 bottle solution, we want a 1 bottle solution because we know there's pill fatigue, right? So we want to make sure that when we go in and do a multi-ingredient formulation, we want to make sure that those ingredients are formulated synergistically so that there's not an adverse interaction between 2 compounds together.
Okay, awesome.
Or we want to make sure that, forget an adverse reaction, we want to make sure that compound or ingredient A doesn't counteract ingredient D, and next thing you know, neither of them have any value because they weren't. So we're looking at all of that, right? We also then, when available, you know, like I always say, life is filled with choices of good, better, and best, right? So when there are ingredients that are better, or a better version of an ingredient,
Love it.
maybe it's patented, and we can get access to those patents to utilize that particular ingredient, we do it. So our part of our new protocol, our new neuropathy protocol, is a new nitric oxide supplement. Everybody knows how important that is. But instead of just pounding that person with exogenous or external nitrates in the form of beetroot, right? Of course, we have some of that in there, but we also have a patented ingredient that we've gotten access to, clinically shown, clinically proven to increase your body's own endogenous production of nitric oxide. Sit down, Mark, by 230%. It's non-GMO, it's plant-based, and it's water soluble. Well, that's not a cheap ingredient, but I want to build the better mousetrap. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. Because Dr. Jones is going to be able to tell his patient, this company, they're the best. We're not a one-stop shop. I don't want to be a one. You know what? You want to do a fish oil, man, go use your standard process. Go use anabolic labs. Go use that's fine. That's not the space that I want to play in. I want to take my knowledge base. I want to hire the experts, and I want to help chiropractors get from great to greater. That's what we do. So yeah, so side effects, no. Truth in labeling, yes. Quality standards all day long. And that's where the rubber meets the road.
So what I hear what you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong. I always say this, I go, hey, I'm wrong a lot, but when I'm right, I'm right. So let's just say I'm a doctor and let's say I don't know. I understand neuropathy, but my main focus is just chiropractic. And I'm going down the list and I see this person has maybe some neuropathy issues, and this person maybe has some dieting issues and leaky gut issues. So what I hear you saying is I might get all these check marks of what they're struggling with, but as a chiropractor, I may know a little bit about them, but I don't know enough to get by to really help them. But your solution is now, instead of leaving money on the table, they can tell these people that have these solutions, these problems, these ailments, this will help. I have a protocol for neuropathy that will help you. And then what's good now is you're helping somebody with their neuropathy, and now their back issues are going to get better because you're doing a whole synergy with the entire body now.
Well, yeah, and and you're going to run leaky gut and weight loss if they have both, if they need both at the same time.
But they're not. But the good news is that you're keeping, and I have to
in-house.
Say, you're keeping the money
in-house.
And why give it to giving a prescription? Oh, there's another doctor over here that does leaky gut. It's like, so what you're doing is you're throwing your money out when you'd be keeping more money in, and you don't have to be a chiropractor getting a second job at Walmart.
Or you're not relinquishing. I hate to use this term, right? So anybody that's offended, I'm going to front load it and say I'm sorry in advance. You don't have to relinquish control of that patient's care to somebody that is not as high of an expert or have the degree of expertise that you have in alternative healthcare. How many times, chiropractors, you don't think it happens? How many times do you have your patients come in and say, well, my personal trainer said that I shouldn't be taking this or I should be taking that? The second you tell that person and you let them go to somebody else and start taking advice on something that you could and should be doing in your practice, you are losing control of that patient. And you cannot guarantee that that person is going to listen to you instead of them. Hey, Sally, I need you to do these hamstring stretches. Well, Dr. Jones, my personal trainer, said I shouldn't do those because I should, instead of stretching my hamstrings, I should strengthen my antagonist. And, I had the conversation like, listen, I get it. And I'm not telling you don't strengthen it, but I'm not saying life is not filled with, ifs or ors.
Correct.
It's ands, right? Go do your personal training, but we got to address this. So, like Mark, let's talk common stuff. Let's talk one bottle solutions, right? High cholesterol. Average chiropractor, okay, person's going to mark down on page 3, they have high cholesterol and they're taking whatever, fill in the blank, Lipitor, stat. What's the average chiropractor do with that information? Nothing.
No.
Why not? Well, I don't know what to do, or it's complex, right? Or I tell them, go on Google and find something. And now I'm giving that patient, I'm giving my local vitamin shop or my local health food store, I'm relinquishing control of dissemination of information, health promoting information from my practice to Sally, who just happened to have enough money to go buy some supplements usually and start a health food store on the street corner. Because now Sally becomes the expert in everything nutrition in that patient's mind.
I love
and
it.
If I say, hey, Mark, you have high cholesterol, we need to do something about that. What's Mark going to say? Oh, awesome. I'll go ask Sally what I should do the next time.
Exactly. I love it.
So with us, we have, and it's funny. I jokingly say, I give our products, like you've seen the can of generic beer, it's the white can and it says beer on it, right?
Perhaps something.
So I jokingly say I name our supplements so that people don't have to remember all these crazy one-off names. So our all natural cholesterol supplement is called Coal Control.
Love
right?
It.
And it contains, Mark, the 5 gold standard peer-reviewed research ingredients that have been shown effective in helping, I have to be careful what I say in case anybody from the FDA or FTC sees this, in help, you're going to appreciate, this is my CYA statement.
I love it.
In helping control cholesterol. So what do? We have these gold standards. The ingredients in there have been peer-reviewed, shown to lower LDLs.
But helping, I love it.
Elevate HDL, elevate good cholesterol, reduce triglycerides. So what do you do when you do that? Well, you help reduce or lower the CRF, which is the coronary risk factor, which is the HDL to total cholesterol ratio. I always say high cholesterol. Oh, I have high cholesterol. And I'm like, well, is it high because you have a high amount of HDLs, or is it and low LDL? Like, the high cholesterol can mean a bunch of different things. It's pretty important if your doctor wants to put you on meds. So we can go, okay, so here's Coal Control, but what else do we know? We know that the #1 side effect of statin drugs is diffuse musculoskeletal pain. What do most people come to a chiropractor for? Now, we can educate them about innate and the body's adaptability and overall health and wellness, but what do most patients come to chiropractors for?
The back.
Number one side effect of statins, diffuse musculoskeletal pain. Correct. Where do we know? So they've been taking these statins, Lipitor. When you take it, where does it go? Where's the next stop once it moves through the digestive tract and gets into your body? The liver, right? The liver is a big, giant, dirty blood sponge. That's all it is. Like, I know everybody's got this horrible image, but that's what the liver is. Well, if I have a patient that's been taking a lot of medications, prescribed or over the counter, or, maybe they like the beer and the Tylenol or whatever, what do we know? Is their liver impaired? Is the functional capacity of their liver, maybe not to the degree where their liver enzymes are off, but if I'm taking over-the-counter prescription meds and I'm drinking alcohol or any one of those, do we think it's likely that maybe my liver's under a little bit of stress compared to the person's not?
Wow.
So then what do? I have a product called CN Liver. What's it designed to do? It's designed to help tonify and flush the liver so that we can help the liver function better. When you can help filtration happen, so it's just that kind of that mindset, right? And it's only chiropractic. We only sell to chiropractic. Yeah, man. I mean, it's like, so, that's kind of, it's really our approach, right? It's like, we're not a one-stop shop for everything. Don't want to be. It's funny. I learned within the first year of having Chiro Nutraceutical as a company that trying to get chiropractors to switch nutrition companies when they liked the ones that they were with.
Correct.
Was like going to somebody and telling them they needed to switch churches or synagogues
I got
when
it.
they love the one that they went to, right? And then what I realized, at first it kind of bummed me out, Mark, but then what I realized is like, that's not the space I want to play in anyway.
Mm-mm.
And that's the message that I want to give to anybody that's like watching this, like, define the space that you want to play in. Right?
I love that.
And don't be afraid to take chances. Right? Most people, Mark, I'm sorry, I'm getting totally off of this, but
That's okay.
this is on my heart to share with people. If there's something that you want to do, pray on it, meditate on it. If you still have it in your heart and in your gut that you need to do it, then you need to do it regardless of what anybody else thinks.
Love it.
Most people don't do things out of fear, and it's not fear of failure. It's fear of what the people that they surround themselves with will think of them, even if they're successful. Mark, I had people tell me, buddies of mine, tell me that I was ruining the profession of chiropractic because my weight loss protocol was named Chirothin. Friends of mine.
Wow.
I had people say, well, hey, don't count on that little vitamin company of yours to ever do anything.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And in the meantime,
did you send them a bottle later?
Well, here's the funny thing, right? one of those friends I stopped talking to. It was a good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. I don't need you to lift me up, but I also don't need you to try to knock me down.
I gotcha.
And I was just like, I don't think this person's a friend. That's
weird how that happens. I've had that where your friends are like, oh, is it? Not saying they're always, but they'll say something totally opposite instead of encouraging you. Our friends are sometimes so quick to show the bad. So when they do, whenever I present something, I'll say, so what's the good? Yeah. Well, the funny thing is out of nowhere, he pops up. As of a month and a half, 2 months ago, he's now in the office. No way. Yeah. So it's being true to yourself. I love it. Honoring the promptings that God gives you, listening to them, and then not letting fear get in the way. And it's not your fear. I mean, like at the end of the day, I get asked like, oh, gee, Dr. J, how do you make such good? I'm like, I make bad decisions just like everybody else does. Yeah, but you got to go through the bad, get the good. You do, and I don't dwell on it. Correct. It's like, okay, well, that didn't work out. Next, moving on. Next, hey, if Babe Ruth stopped swinging, he wouldn't be one of the greatest. Yeah, exactly. So don't. If there's something, guys, anybody, guys and ladies that's watching this, that you feel strongly that you need to be doing, and whether it's personally or it's professionally or it's in your practice or it's not in your practice, and you have felt that way, and it wasn't just a flash in the pan, and you're on that fence, should I, shouldn't I? Guys, what I'm going to tell you is jump. You've prayed on it, you've meditated on it, it's still there. And you're still thinking to yourself, man, I really should be doing this. Guess what, guys? You really need to be doing it. I love this. So when's this going to be all implemented, and when will this website will be up? I'm thinking a month or two on the new website. Okay. Obviously, all of these protocols, Mark, I kind of, we all have aha moments, right? So yeah. I kind of like created these and we do it like, we have 1,500 chiropractic offices in the United States that utilize our products. We've had over 250,000 patients in the United States alone, just on our weight loss protocol. But people are like, oh, have you ever thought about doing this? And so what we do is, like our leaky gut protocol is ready. That was our, believe it or not, comprehensive, but our first protocol we ever launched. Other than Chirothin was our leaky gut. Stress and sleep is already available. But I had this epiphany. I'm like, even Chirothin fits this model of helping chiropractors get their patients better faster, keeping them better longer, and saving them time, saving them money.
And it's an amazing revenue source. And I'm talking amazing, like our average chiropractic office. So Chirothin's a 42-week protocol. And earlier you said, you can hire people to do chiropractic. We actually find that we have a lot of our clients, Mark, they want to still be chiropractors, but they know this is going to help. So they bring on a staff member to manage and run the weight loss aspect of their practice so that they can still be freed up to doing what they love to do best, which is being a chiropractor.
Perfect.
But it's a 6-week protocol. Our average client, and it's paid in cash. I designed it not to be reimbursable by insurance. People are already trained to pay cash. Our average client is charging and collecting it's right around $900 now per 42-day protocol. It's 6 visits.
Wow. Amazing.
It's cash and it's upfront. And we have about,
and it works.
we have about on average 2,500 people per month in the United States start Chirothin. We did the math, and the other really cool thing is we know that there's 2 types of chiropractors, right? There's a chiropractor like, hey, I'm going to hire an ad agency and we're going to do all this marketing. I'm going to spin up a whole nother division of my company, and we're going to use this to generate tons of revenue. But then we also know, and this is where our data points come in. If you market weight loss, not chiropractic, you have Smithville Weight Loss Center, right? 70% of the people that come in for weight loss will not be existing chiropractic patients. But what do we know about people that are overweight or obese? Are they more likely to have back pain? Yeah. Knee pain? Yeah. Inflammatory issues? Yeah. Headaches? Yeah. Metabolic syndrome?
But it gets them in the door that they normally would not have.
Well, and because we have 250,000 patients worth of data and 1,500 offices worth of data, we know when to introduce the idea of chiropractic to them. We know how to introduce the idea, and we provide all of that training, right? So what it does is it becomes this revenue source. You have that person, but then we also have those clients that come in and go, well, I'm not really interested in having a weight loss division. I just want to help my sick people get better. And so we have systems for that as well, and just from I don't like talking money, but I'll talk money. If the average practice in the United States, I think Chiro Economics said, sees 40 new patients a week, right? That's what they said. So what did we talk about statistics? Not Dr. Jason's magical numbers to make things sound good, but Gallup organization's numbers. If you have 40 new patients a month walk through the doors of your practice, remember, 65 to 70% of them are going to be overweight or obese, right? So that's 25 to 30 of the 40. 51% of them show up wanting to lose weight. So if they're overweight or obese, we already know that losing weight would help them get better faster, stay better longer, save time, save money, right? So they're showing up into your office. 51% of those people want to lose weight the day they showed up in your practice. So if we know that it's going to slow down their recovery or prevent a full recovery, and we know they already want to do it,
love it.
Why not build it into their treatment plan? Or if you're not comfortable doing that, why not bring it up to that patient a week or two into care if you don't want to build it in? And we, once again, having these crowdsourcing data, we know and we provide our clients, like, here's how because like, Mark, if I looked at you and I said, listen, you need to talk to your patient about losing weight, man, their décolletages get red, their palms get sweaty, they get butterflies in their stomach. So we've developed these ways and we've tested them and we know they work, that you can, as a chiropractor, bring up the idea of weight loss to your patient in a way that is very palatable and very well received by your patients. That's the benefit of companies. I mean, to be honest with you, Mark, it's the benefit of my company. So if you have 40, 21 of them show up wanting to lose weight. Let's say you even just close half of those, right? And, so half of 20, let's just call it 10 for easy math.
Right.
10 times 900 is 9,000 a month. 9,000 times 12 is 108. It's $108,000 additional cash into the average chiropractic practice. Like how, and it fits it. It reinforces what we do. Is like we set this up to be, like, in my opinion, such a no-brainer, because I wanted to help people. Like knowing that you're going to get your sick people better faster, keep them better longer, save them time, save them money.
Wow.
And add 100 on average, if you're an average chiropractor, add 108,000 cash per year to your practice.
It's funny, as you're talking, the thing that's, I like slogans, and the thing that just sticks out to me is it just works.
Amen.
I mean, because I look at it like this, it's just like, if you got a hook and then you bring another hook, but they both have magnets, they just automatically work.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through a whole prayer meeting and fasting.
Right.
It works.
Right.
It just works, you know?
Right. Right.
But I love that.
I mean, so back to your question. Okay. 2 months, I had this epiphany. They all fit together, and it's my personal, like, key initiative, right?
Right.
Is I realized that I had not been playing, my company had not been playing at a big enough level. All we ever really talked about was I just flew our entire team down to Tampa. That's where I live now, for a one-day meeting. Like, I had our VP who lives in everybody works remote, but I had the entire team in Tampa on Wednesday for an all-day training, going over exactly what we're talking. I mean, like, I even have, like, still sitting on my desk, like, oh, you can't see it.
I see it.
So these are,
wow.
You can see I highlighted everything. So this is our I just happened to grab one. This is our digestive enzyme, right? It's the most comprehensive digestive enzyme there is. Why would I want to do that? Inflammation and immunity. They all start in the gut.
Love
right?
it.
7 proteolytic digestive enzymes. So things like that. So I decided I wasn't playing big enough. I needed to up my game. And that's where it's like these protocols, right? And to me, that's where we as chiropractors, if there's anything, chiropractic first, but then I need to fill that gap for the average chiropractor. And like I said, I don't want to be a one-stop shop for everything. If you are Captain Clinical Nutrition, we have some of them as clients. We have some of the top functional med doctors in the world that are chiropractors that are clients of ours. Now, they use some of our stuff, but they use some of their other stuff. So I feel good about that, that to me says something about our company. But for the average chiropractor, that's not that person that's dedicated 20 years of their professional career to learn clinical nutrition, but it's important. My company is the right choice. We designed ourselves to fill that gap for you.
I love it. I'm just looking at some of your testimonials. I mean, just if my friends, go to chirothin.com and just kind of scroll around and have some fun. I love it. There's this one guy, Dan, lost 33 pounds and 29 inches in 42 days. Yeah. I mean, that's huge. That's not something to blink at.
Yeah. We have a private Facebook group for Chirothin doctors. And I posted it maybe on my Facebook page or something else, but he had posted it. His name's Tim. January 1st, he and his 17-year-old son started Chirothin. So we even have our own HIPAA compliant patient portal, because we can crowdsource all this data so that it makes patient management really easy.
Yeah, the training videos, everything. I love it.
Yeah. So Tim, and he just posted yesterday, because yesterday was the beginning of the maintenance phase. So we don't only help people lose weight, but we give them maintenance strategies as well. So he finished his 6 weeks yesterday. He lost 41.6 pounds in 6 weeks. And his 17-year-old son, I think it was 37 pounds in 6 weeks.
That's
now,
Tim's going to
Tim's going to cycle, and Tim's going to do, he's a chiropractor. Tim's going to do another round because he wants to get down into the 180s. He started at just under 270.
Wow.
His son is done. He'll go into maintenance. I put a post up on my Facebook page. Dr. Nicole, who's one of our clients, in the last, I think it was maybe 8 months, maybe a year, she's lost 85 pounds with Chirothin. And so we have no hormones, no amphetamines, no caffeine, no stimulants, no bars, no shakes, no prepackaged food. Really what we're doing Mark, is we're teaching patients
Love
how
it.
to shop for, prepare, and eat foods that promote long-term health and wellness instead of disease and illness. And then we combine that with some of our proprietary
Wow.
supplementation that goes along with that protocol. And that's the results that we get. So,
And you help out with food on cooking.
100%.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
well,
just
it's funny
looking at-
right now with inflation on the 6-week protocol, like we've done studies, right? Like, so we even provide how people are like, how do I sell this? Well, you put them in front. We have a sales consultation video you put them in front of, like, and
Boom.
it checks the box on the sales process. But we just revised it. So one of the things that we found is we look at what the average, I'm kind of a research nerd, right? I kind of geek out on stuff like that. So like during the 6 weeks, we actually found, we just revised them. The average person is going to, during the 6 weeks, the average person in the United States is going to save $700 in food expenditure.
Especially right now.
$700. So, gee, our average office says it's not $900. It's really $200 net cost. And you get your health back. So, yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's funny, you know, I just within this, I don't know, within this situation that our economy's in right now.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I learned recently that if you go out to eat, you're spending about 200% more.
Yeah.
Than if you were to make it at home. You know.
So in 2014, the number of the food savings over 6 weeks was $460. 460.
Wow.
As of a month ago, the food savings is $700.
No brainer. You just gotta want it.
Yeah. And you know, you asked about organic. So when we can have a product certified organic, we get it certified organic. So we've got everything's non-GMO. Everything's non-GMO.
Love
Everything's
it.
made in the USA. Everything is made to CGMP and ISO 9001 standards. We have probably 10 products that are halal certified. Any certification that we can get, we get. So,
wow, amazing. I'm excited. I can't wait till the new website comes out within a month or two.
It's going to be killer.
And then what we'll do is we'll have to revisit that, and because I know it's going to be going through an explosion, just like Chirothin, which I love. And again, I just want to say thank you so much, Dr. Jason, for being here. Everyone, chirothin.com. You guys want to come, doctors, take a look at this website. I know a lot of you've already seen the website, but it's time to get off the bench and let's focus on helping as many people as we can and stop leaving money on the table. I know some people say, well, it's not about money. Yeah, you know what though? I mean, to be honest, it's great. We're here to take care of our families, but also to focus on having a mission on helping as many people as we have. So if you're a chiropractor that all you're doing is just cracking backs and that's it, I'm not bagging on that. I think that's beautiful. We want to have other avenues that we can help as many people as we can possible. And Chirothin, with this new company that Dr. Jason's taking to another level, you want to take a look at it. And thank you so much, Doc. And I just want to say you're a blessing. And I love what you're doing in the chiropractic arena.
Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate it.